In the coastal town of Seabrook, the ocean was both a lifeline and a mystery, a vast expanse that held secrets beneath its waves. For generations, the residents had relied on the sea for their livelihood, drawing from its bounty to feed their families and sustain their community. Fishermen, with their weathered hands and sun-kissed faces, would rise before dawn, casting their nets into the shimmering waters, their hearts filled with hope for a fruitful catch. But beneath the surface, the ocean was a world of complex interactions, a delicate balance that could be disrupted in an instant. One summer, the waters around Seabrook began to change. It started with a subtle shift in color. The once clear blue began to take on a reddish hue, almost like a whisper of crimson spreading across the surface. At first, the townsfolk dismissed it as a harmless phenomenon, perhaps a temporary bloom of algae or a seasonal change. But as days turned into weeks, the red tide intensified, transforming the ocean into a surreal spectacle that both fascinated and frightened the community. Red tides, known scientifically as harmful algal blooms, occur when certain species of algae proliferate rapidly, often triggered by a combination of warm temperatures, nutrient-rich waters, and stagnant conditions. In Seabrook, the red tide was particularly virulent, a bloom of Carenia brevis that released toxins into the water, affecting marine life and challenging the very essence of the town's relationship with the sea. As the tide rolled in, the fishermen began to notice changes in their catches. Fish that once filled their nets in abundance now seemed scarce. The vibrant schools of mullet and snapper that had danced beneath the waves were replaced by eerie silence. Those few fish that were caught often exhibited strange behavior, swimming erratically or floating lifelessly, their gills stained a vivid red. It was as if the ocean had turned against them, a once reliable partner now shrouded in mystery and danger. The local marine biologist, Dr. Elena Ramirez, was drawn to the phenomenon, eager to study the bloom and its effects. She had dedicated her life to understanding the ocean, its ecosystems, and the delicate balance that held them together. Armed with her research equipment and a deep-seated curiosity, she set out to investigate the red tide and its implications for the marine life that inhabited the waters of Seabrook. As she ventured out into the affected areas, Elena collected samples, her heart racing with both excitement and trepidation. The water, now a deep shade of red, swirled around her boat, casting an otherworldly glow. She marveled at the beauty of it, even as she recognized the danger it posed. The algae, while a natural occurrence, could devastate marine life, leading to fish kills and the displacement of entire ecosystems. Days turned into weeks as Elena worked tirelessly, analyzing her samples in the cramped confines of her lab. The results were alarming. The toxins released by the algal bloom were affecting not only fish, but also the larger predators that relied on them for sustenance. Dolphins, once a common sight in the bay, began to appear less frequently, their playful antics replaced by an unsettling absence. The seabirds that had once soared above the water, diving for their meals, now circled the shores, their cries echoing a sense of foreboding. Elena reached out to the community, sharing her findings and urging caution. The fishermen, however, were reluctant to heed her warnings. For them, the sea was their livelihood, and the allure of a good catch was too strong to resist. They ventured out, nets in hand, hoping against hope that the tide would turn, that the fish would return. But each day brought disappointment, and with it, a growing sense of unease. As the summer wore on, the effects of the red tide became more pronounced. The once bustling docks were now eerily quiet, the laughter of children playing by the shore replaced by the somber discussions of fishermen lamenting their losses. The local seafood market, once filled with the vibrant colors and scents of fresh fish, found its shelves bare. The town's economy, reliant on the sea, began to falter, casting a shadow over the community's spirit. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Elena stood on the beach, gazing out at the water. The red tide glimmered under the fading light, a haunting reminder of its presence. She felt a deep connection to the ocean, a sense of responsibility to protect it and the life it harbored. But the more she learned, the more she realized the complexity of the situation. The red tide was not merely a villain. It was a manifestation of larger environmental issues, a symptom of a changing world. In her quest to understand the bloom, Elena Abi began to explore the broader implications of human activity on the ocean's health. She delved into studies on nutrient runoff from agricultural practices, pollution from urban areas, and the impacts of climate change on marine ecosystems. Each revelation painted a stark picture of the challenges facing the ocean, challenges that extended far beyond the shores of Seabrook. The community began to rally around Elena's findings, realizing that the red tide was not just an isolated event, but part of a larger narrative. They organized meetings, inviting experts to share their knowledge and strategies for addressing the root causes of the bloom. Fishermen, once resistant to change, began to advocate for sustainable practices, recognizing that the health of the ocean was intrinsically linked to their own survival. As the summer faded into autumn, the red tide began to dissipate, the waters slowly returning to their familiar blue. The community breathed a collective sigh of relief, but the lessons learned during those tumultuous months lingered in their minds. The ocean, with its mysterious depths and unpredictable nature, had revealed its fragility, and the people of Seabrook were determined to protect it. Elena continued her research, now focused on monitoring the health of the marine ecosystem and advocating for policies that would safeguard the ocean from future blooms. She collaborated with local schools, educating the next generation about the importance of environmental stewardship and the interconnectedness of all life. The town, once defined by its reliance on the sea, began to embrace a new identity as a guardian of the ocean, a community committed to preserving the delicate balance of nature. As winter approached, the fishermen returned to the waters, their nets once again filled with fish. The vibrant colors of the ocean had returned, a reminder of resilience and renewal. The community celebrated their newfound understanding, gathering for festivals that honored the sea and its bounty. They shared stories of the red tide, not as a tale of despair, but as a testament to their strength and unity. Elena stood on the beach, watching the waves lap against the shore, feeling a sense of hope. The ocean would always hold its mysteries, but the bond between the people of Seabrook and the sea had deepened, forged in the crucible of adversity. They had learned that the health of their waters was a reflection of their own well-being, a lesson that would guide them for generations to come. In the years that followed, the town of Seabrook became a model for coastal communities grappling with similar challenges. They implemented sustainable fishing practices, reduced nutrient runoff, and engaged in conservation efforts that protected marine habitats. The red tide, once a harbinger of doom, transformed into a catalyst for change, sparking a movement that resonated far beyond the shores of Seabrook. Elena continued her work, her passion for the ocean undiminished. She published her research, sharing the story of Seabrook and its response to the red tide with the world. Her findings sparked discussions in academic circles and among policymakers, highlighting the urgent need for action to protect marine ecosystems globally. As the years passed, the red tide became a distant memory, a chapter in the town's history that served as a reminder of the ocean's power and fragility. The people of Seabrook, now stewards of the sea, remained vigilant, their hearts intertwined with the rhythms of the tides. They understood that the ocean was not just a source of sustenance, but a living entity, deserving of respect and care. In the quiet moments, as the sun set over the horizon, casting a golden glow on the water, Elena would often reflect on the journey they had taken. The challenges they faced had forged a deeper connection to the ocean, a bond that transcended generations. The mysteries of the sea would always be there, waiting to be explored. But the people of Seabrook had learned to navigate its depths with wisdom and reverence, ready to face whatever the tides might bring next. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Also, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. If you have any additional information or knowledge to share, feel free to leave a comment below so we can all discuss. I'll try to respond as soon as possible. See you in the next video. Ost oski